Let's get right into it. Number 10. The bacteria that laughs at nuclear bombs. Imagine you're a scientist in 1956, and you've got this can of meat that's supposed to be completely sterile. You've blasted it with enough radiation to kill anything alive, the kind of radiation that would turn you into a ghost. You open it up, and the meat's spoiled, which should be impossible. It's like leaving your phone in a washing machine, putting it through a full cycle, and finding it still works perfectly. Meet Deinococcus radiodurans. Scientists call it Conan the bacterium. This little guy can take 1,000 times more radiation than a human could survive. That's like getting hit by a nuclear bomb and shrugging it off. It doesn't just survive radiation, it thrives in it. When radiation tears its DNA apart, this bacteria just puts itself back together, like it's solving a jigsaw puzzle. It's basically the Wolverine of the microscopic world. Scientists were baffled because this went against everything we knew about life. It's like finding out your grandma's Nokia 3310 could run Cyberpunk 2077. Now we're using these bacteria to clean up nuclear waste sites. They're literally eating radiation for breakfast. NASA's studying them because they might be our best bet for finding life on Mars. Number 9. The metal that remembers. It's 1959, and this scientist named William Bueller is trying to make missiles better at not melting. He's mixing different metals together, probably daydreaming about lunch, when he creates this weird alloy of nickel and titanium. One day, Bueller takes a strip of this metal to a meeting and starts showing it off. He folds it up like origami, and one of his colleagues, Dr. David Muzzy, decides to heat it up with his pipe lighter. Everyone watches as the crumpled metal suddenly springs back to its original shape like it's possessed. The metal remembers its original shape. Imagine having a pair of glasses made from this stuff. You sit on them, and they get bent all out of shape. Run some hot water over them, and they're good as new. This accidental discovery, which they named nitinol, turned out to be way more useful than just fixing bent glasses. Doctors now use it to save lives. They can squish a tiny tube made of this metal super small, thread it through your blood vessels, and when it warms up to body temperature, it expands back to its original shape. It's like a tiny transformer in your body that keeps your arteries open. They even use it in braces now. The wire slowly remembers its straight shape and pulls your teeth along with it. You're basically wearing a piece of failed missile research in your mouth. Number 8. The liquid that said nah to gravity. Imagine you're drinking a milkshake and suddenly it starts climbing up the straw by itself. It sounds impossible. Back in 1937, some scientists were messing around with helium, probably trying to make funny voices. But instead of just getting squeaky voices, they accidentally discovered something that broke physics. They cooled helium down to almost absolute zero, which is so cold that atoms basically stop moving. It's like putting your hyperactive nephew in a freezer. The helium started climbing up the walls of its container. This isn't like when water climbs up a paper towel a little bit. This stuff was straight up ignoring gravity, like a teenager ignoring their parents. Scientists call this superfluid helium. This stuff has zero friction. Imagine sliding on ice, but the ice is so slippery that you'd zoom off into space. It can even flow uphill forever, like an endless waterfall in reverse. If you put it in a cup, it'll crawl up the sides and drip off the bottom. It's basically the cat of the liquid world, doing whatever it wants and completely ignoring the laws of physics. The craziest part is, we still don't fully understand how it works. It's like we accidentally discovered a cheat code for reality. Number 7. The icy touch that stopped a shake. You're a brain surgeon in the 1960s. You're operating on someone with severe tremors, and your hand slips. The super cold surgical tool accidentally touches a part of the brain you weren't supposed to touch. You think you've just made a career-ending mistake, but the patient's tremors stop. This happened to Dr. Irving Cooper during a routine operation. Until that moment, everyone assumed freezing brain tissue would kill it. Turns out, extreme cold can shut down problematic brain areas without destroying them. This accidental discovery led to cryosurgery. Today, doctors use this technique to treat everything from tremors to certain types of cancer. Number 6. The mistake that fermented into liquid gold. Imagine you're a chemist in 1837 England, trying to recreate this fancy sauce from Asia. You mix up some fish guts, molasses, and spices, following what you think is the recipe, but something goes horribly wrong. This isn't just regular bad. We're talking dead fish left in the sun for a week kind of bad. So you do what any reasonable person would do. You shove those barrels in the basement and try to forget they ever existed. Fast forward a few years, and you're cleaning out the cellar. You find these forgotten barrels and decide to see how bad they got. But when you open them up, something weird has happened. That horrific fish gut soup has turned into something actually amazing. You just accidentally invented Worcestershire sauce. That sauce you can barely pronounce was basically a failed experiment that got lucky. The chemists were Leah and Perrins, and the recipe they were failing at came from Bengal. But after fermenting in those barrels for 18 months, it turned into liquid gold. The bacteria had worked their magic, breaking down the fish proteins into something delicious. Today, Leah and Perrins still use that same 18-month timeline before bottling it, not because they have to, but because that's how long it takes for failure to turn into perfection. Number 5. The plastic that conducts electricity. The copper wire in your phone charger is wrapped in plastic. That's because plastic doesn't conduct electricity. Or at least that's what everyone thought until 1976. You're a lab assistant at the University of Tokyo. It's late, you're tired, and you're working on some boring chemical experiment. Then you make a mistake that's about to change the world. You accidentally add 1,000 times more catalyst than you should have. Most of us would probably try to hide this mistake, but this assistant told his professor, Hideki Shirakawa, and instead of getting mad, Shirakawa got curious. The result was this weird, silvery plastic film that shouldn't exist. It looked like aluminum foil, but it was plastic. And the crazy part is, when they tested it, it conducted electricity. This was like discovering that water could burn or that rocks could float. This mistake led to the creation of conducting polymers, which won the Nobel Prize in 2000. Your TV, your phone, if they have an OLED screen, they exist because some tired lab assistant messed up an experiment. Number 4. The locked drawer that took its own picture. It's 1896, and Henri Becquerel is sitting in his lab, probably bored out of his mind on a cloudy day. He's got these weird rocks that belong to his dad. They were supposed to glow in the sun, but it's cloudy, so he just tosses them in a drawer along with some photographic plates wrapped in black paper. A few days later, he opens the drawer and finds something impossible. The photographic plates are completely exposed, like someone took a picture in complete darkness. The rocks had basically taken selfies of themselves. These weren't just any rocks, they contained uranium, and Becquerel had just accidentally discovered radioactivity. One of the biggest scientific discoveries of all time happened because a guy got lazy on a cloudy day. This discovery completely changed how we thought about matter. It turns out some stuff just sits there shooting out invisible rays all day long. The best part is Becquerel won a Nobel Prize for basically being too lazy to put his stuff away properly. Number 3. The chemical reaction that wasn't supposed to exist. In 1951, Russian scientist Boris Belousov was mixing chemicals in his lab when something weird happened. The liquid in his beaker started changing colors. Orange to clear, over and over, like some kind of chemical disco. But this one kept doing it like clockwork, creating order from chaos all by itself. When Belousov showed this to other scientists, they told him he was crazy. See, according to the laws of thermodynamics, things are supposed to get more chaotic over time, not more organized. It's like if you dropped a deck of cards and they landed in perfect order. It just doesn't happen. His bosses refused to publish his work for years. They were like, "That's impossible. You must have made a mistake." Belousov got so frustrated, he quit research entirely. Years later, another scientist named Zhabotinsky found Belousov's notes and recreated the experiment. Turns out Belousov wasn't crazy. The reaction was real. Today it's called the Belousov-Zhabotinsky reaction, and it completely rewrote the rules of chemical reactions. Scientists now use it to study everything from heart rhythms to brain waves. Number 2. The useless salt that tamed the mind. It's 1949. This Australian psychiatrist John Cade is injecting guinea pigs with patients' urine. He needed something to dissolve the samples, so he picked lithium urate. The guinea pigs that got the lithium mixture suddenly chilled out completely. Tiny Zen masters. Cade tried just the lithium by itself. Same thing. This was huge because back then, if you had severe mood swings, doctors would either give you a lobotomy or lock you away forever. Cade decided to try it on himself first. When he didn't die, he gave it to his most severe patients. These people who'd been suffering for years suddenly got better, dramatically better. Lithium had been right under our noses the whole time. People even used it in soft drinks. 7-Up had lithium citrate in it until 1950. People were casually sipping on mood stabilizers with their hamburgers. Number 1. The twitching needle that fused two forces. Imagine you're in a classroom in 1820. Professor Hans Christian Ørsted is doing yet another electricity demonstration. He's got some wires, a battery, and a compass on his desk. He wasn't trying to discover anything. When he turned on the electric current, the compass needle started twitching like it was having a seizure. He thought it was just a fluke. Maybe the compass was broken, or maybe he'd had too much coffee. But this little twitch completely rewrote the rulebook on physics. Before this, everyone thought electricity and magnetism were completely different forces. It's like finding out that your two friends who totally don't know each other have actually been dating for months. This discovery proved that electricity and magnetism were connected. It led to electric motors, generators, and pretty much everything that powers our modern world. Next time you're charging your phone, you can thank a bored professor and his twitchy compass. And the best part is when other scientists asked Ørsted why he had a compass on his desk during an electricity demonstration, he couldn't even remember why. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.